Another year and another time for me to talk about one of my favourite things to do year in, year out, and that is Creamfields. So this video is going to be about things that I have learned in the past 3 years of attending this music festival and what mistakes to avoid. We're back! It is nearly time! To get started, I'm going to be vlogging myself again at the music festival, and I want to do things a little bit differently to my normal style. So if you've got any ideas or what you want me to kind of vlog about when I'm at Creamfields, then comment it down below or message me on Instagram, name is there, and I look forward to hearing your answers. One of the very first things to note, which is different from this festival to others, is that when you enter the festival, if you leave, you are out. So that means whatever you bring with you from the car to the check-in point needs to be everything in one trip. Now this can make life difficult for someone who likes to glamp like myself, or any solo festival ravers who have to bring a tent, a mattress, 17 chargers, a sleeping bag, 4 pillows. It's just a nightmare. So one of the best things I have invested in is my trusty trolley here. Yes, it was about £90, but it's led me through the past 3 years. It will lead me through this, and it's so easy to store things in. The one thing I personally learned from last year is that when you are stacking things on top, it's either good to cling film all your items together or use like cable ties or zip ties to make sure that things don't fall off, because again, when you are going through the bumpy hills, things do like to fall off your trolleys if they're uneven. Going on the note of checking in, you may or may not know, but there is a limitation to the amount of alcohol an individual can take in. So it comes under a litre of spirits and 24 cans of any chosen drink. Two main options: either take in more drink and they'll confiscate the extra off you, or just buy bigger cans, because they actually don't specify what size can you can bring in. Just my advice is try and get away with more, and if it gets confiscated off you, at least you've tried, because you don't want to be going sober. And there's 2 points to consider off this. So one, alcohol is expensive and is either available in the main stage area or in the gold hospitality area. Note to self, there is a co-op on site which I'll go into in a minute, but it doesn't sell alcohol. So that's why it's definitely worth trying to sneak in more alcohol than you are technically allowed. So let's say you've parked up, you've got all your stuff in your trolley, you've zip tied it, you're on your way through security, you've got through and you've took in extra alcohol than you need. It's important then to find a decent camping spot. So depending on what you like, there's camping spots next to the showers, closer to the toilets, closer to the main stage, the hospitality area. Just that is the one thing which is good about going for 4 nights, is that the first night is all about really finding a good camping spot which you like. Again, it's not majorly long. It can take between probably 5 and 10 minutes to walk to the area where the music is. Basically, going on the Friday or even the Saturday is a big risk, because you may have all of the leftover spots, which if you've got a big tent, or most tents can be some tiny spot like this, and all of yourself and your friends might not be able to camp together because of this reason. So the Thursday night is definitely the key night to go if you can get the tickets, just for the main reason of finding a camping spot. And on that note, you don't actually have to go super early on the Thursday. I went last year at about 2 o'clock. It took me about an hour and a half to get through the car park to my camping spot. So again, it's not a long procedure, and at that point there was still so much available. So don't worry if you're coming on the Thursday night about what time you need to come. Just check on the website about what time you're allowed to come in until, though, because there will be rules around that. Something happened to me last year which made my Creamfields starting experience absolutely awful. So I took a tent with me, and normally I'm very, let's say, ADHD about checking things in advance. Got into the festival arena, laid out my tent, and for about 10 minutes I was searching for the poles to realise that my tent didn't have the poles with it. Story short, I got the tent from someone else, and I was fuming, so I had to go to a camping shop. Now luckily they sell various items like tents, pillows, mattresses, which they'll pump up for you, and silly little things like deodorant and whatnot, or soap I think it was. But supply and demand, so everything is super expensive, so I spent a lot of money on a tent, which is a 4-man tent, but really it's a 2-man tent. So my point being, make sure you check everything in advance before you go, because you definitely don't want to be in that situation like I was, queuing up for 60 minutes, spending £80, being absolutely infuriated before the festival even started. On that note, these 2 tents here, they do come labelled as 4-man tents, but they're not. You can sleep 2 people in them. I am selling them both now that I haven't stacked them up the prettiest, but they are definitely both in working order and are incredible. So if you want them, comment down below, or again follow me on Instagram down below, because they will be on Facebook Marketplace when this video is live. Okay, tent setup. Now you want to definitely make sure you are comfortable. Don't care who you are. You want to definitely make sure when it comes to the end of your first night you are getting a good night's sleep, because it will help with how you feel for the rest of the festival and your tiredness, believe it or not. I do highly recommend investing in comfortable camping equipment. Now it doesn't have to be expensive, just get yourself 2 pillows. Look at the size of this pillow. Cost about £15, one of the most comfortable pillows I've ever slept on in my life. Do not sleep on the goddamn hard concrete floor. Buy yourself either one of these yoga mats to lie on, or a big mattress which you can inflate. The last thing you want to be doing is walking around like Quasimodo when you're on the day 2 of your music festival. Not a good look, guys, not a good look. And as well, keeping warm. Even though it's the UK and it's unreliable weather, it might be sunny in the daytime, but believe it or not, when it's night time, even with alcohol in your system, it does get rather cold. Bring yourself a hoodie, get yourself a sleeping bag, a blanket, something like that, just to keep you warm. Again, getting a good night's sleep is key to being able to rave for longer. That's a quote. It should be put up in lights up there or something like that, I reckon. One thing to consider is definitely the weather. So from last year's experience at Creamfields, if you went you'll understand. If you didn't go, here's a little insight. It was very muddy. Now I didn't mind, but a lot of other people clearly did, and they went home because the campsites were pretty empty by the end of the 3rd day. Now Wellingtons is something I'm definitely going to be bringing this year, just in case that does happen. Keeping an eye on the weather forecast as well, which might mean I bring ponchos to keep myself nice and dry. Always be prepared, and definitely do not go home just because of a bit of mud. It's fun. If you slip, get up, get a beverage down you, go again. It's funny me talking about all this alcohol stuff when I haven't drunk since September, and my first time drinking will literally be at Creamfields. So, still on the topic of alcohol, you've had your first night. FYI, silent discos, in my opinion, are absolutely dog shite. Yeah, the only reason I go on the first night is to get a good camping spot, but whatever. Don't expect much from the first night. Welcome from your first night. It's now Friday morning. You are hungover to hell. Now there's 2 options: either keep drinking, but again, alcohol is limited unless you snuck some in from one of my earlier points, or option 2, battle the hangover. Now something I learned last year is I have a very good way to get rid of hangovers. So here's my remedy for you, okay? Before bed, 2 paracetamol, 1 pint of water. Wake up in the morning, you're gonna have your dissolvable vitamin C tablet, which is like a Barocca, and you're gonna get your orange juice from the co-op. You're gonna have that, and you're also gonna have a Revive shot. And believe it or not, they haven't sponsored me. Said I didn't drink enough to be able to warrant it, but it's got lots of essential vitamins and minerals, and I found genuinely that my hangovers did not last very long in the morning because of this remedy. So try it. No one wants a hangover. Right, the Co-op. It is definitely one of the better places to go in Creamfields, and it's positioned in one place in the vendor village, I think it's called. Now, depending on where you chose to camp will depend on how far it is away from you. Normally where I camp, where the showers and toilets are on one side of the map in the gold there, it's about a 15-minute walk, which is fine. Things to note about the Co-op: again, they don't sell alcohol. The queue can take 20 to 30 minutes. It may look long, but you actually get through it pretty quick. They sell basic necessities, from fruits, sandwiches. 2 years ago they didn't sell disposable barbecues because there was some weather warning to do with it being too hot, which may or may not affect you bringing them into the venue. But that did affect, however, how expensive food got on the day. So the Co-op is a little bit more expensive than your average Co-op. So if you can bring food with you early on, even better. You can keep it nice and cold, get some ice from the Co-op. But again, vendors are quite expensive anyway, food items. I think I paid £13 for a bottle of 7-Up and some chips and curry sauce last year, something like that. So bankruptcy. The village, there is places to buy food from. There's a random church. I've never been in there. Don't know what happens in there. There's Commando Camping, which sell camping gear. There's a few random clothing shops which sell cool bucket hats and stuff along those lines. There's places where you can charge your phones. Off the top of my head, there's quite a few different places to buy different things from. So my advice, I personally think that power banks are king. I use my phone a lot at music festivals. I do a lot of recording for vlogs. I'm sure a lot of people who just sit on the phone on a daily basis anyway will know that their phone battery dies quite quick. So I will advise to bring more power banks than you think if you are going to use it. Again, you can pay for a service to charge your phone, but why do that when you can just bring like 4 power banks? I think I took 3 last year and I used all of it. They're not that expensive. I prefer the wireless ones as well, little small ones which you can fit in your man pouch or your fanny pack as you are in the rave, so it's charging on the go. Some things to know about the festival itself. The arena is actually very big, and still to this day I do not know which tent is which. It's never specified properly in signage to the red colour tent is named Suboral or the green colour tent is called XYZ. So just, you're probably going to be in a rush to go and see certain acts. That's how it goes. We leave things to the last minute as human beings. So when you are in the campsite, just have a look at who's on what stage and try and learn the layout. And again, it will take a good amount of time to get from one side to the other, at least 15 minutes. A little bit of ADHD kicking in. Have a plan of who you want to go and see at what time, and then how long it's going to take to get there, just to make sure that you are getting the most out of all the acts of the weekend. If you want to go and see Scooter Friday night at 9 PM, but then Fisher's on at 11 PM, you need to know where he's at so you can get there on time. The lineup looks freaking great, by the way. I'm very gutted that David Guetta's not on, but seen him 3 years in a row, so let's see who else we're going to be watching. Might have to be Calvin Harris type of vibes. Now it is getting harder and harder year in, year out to get your alcohol from the camping site into the main arena. If you don't know, they do not allow you to bring any form of liquid through from that area, your camping area, to the main area. Now I have tried stuffing it down here and you can kind of get away with that, but it's still a lot of hassle. So just know it is getting trickier. Security is getting tighter. They are starting to search people down more when you're trying to get alcohol through and anything else like that. So just be careful is all I will say. It's not as easy as it used to be. If you are a gold camping member, the hospitality area is absolutely incredible. As a gold member, you get access to 1 free meal a day which you can use in the hospitality area. They'll just scan your wristband and it will say that you've used your meal for the day. Now use it because the food in this area is exclusive to gold members and you can't get it from anywhere else. and the food in this area is out of this world. The past 2 years I've been going to get Chinese food, so beef and black bean sauce, chicken katsu curry, and honestly it is incredible. Things to note: toilets in campsites for gold have been very clean the past 2 years, so I don't think you need to worry about taking a number 2 anymore because they are well looked after. The showers were cleaned a couple times on a daily basis, so again they were quite tidy, although some parts of the day would take like an hour to queue up to get into the showers. If you went at certain points when it was quiet, you could get lucky and you could get in there within 5 minutes. That's the one benefit of camping next to the showers, because you can see where the queue is and how long it's going to take. And a small phone speaker to sneak into the camping site. You're not allowed to, but sneak it in through like putting in your shoes in your bag or something. You may get searched and found. That's your risk, but definitely worth it to keep the vibes going in the campsite. Sitting around a comfy chair is advisable. You want to lounge around and relax. Bring bug spray if it's hot and you're drinking cider. Copperberg like me, wasps come and go all the time. If you get bug spray, they tend to leave you alone. And guys, I think that's everything. God knows how long it took me to record this, but so on top of the 2 tents I've got to get rid of, to ideas for this year's vlog. If there's also anything I have missed, again, comment down below and I will look at it whenever I can, or drop me a message on Instagram, which for the third time this video is here. And if you do see me at Creamfields, say hello. I saw a few people who watched my videos last year. It's quite nice. Yeah. If I don't, I hope you have a good festival and I hope this video helped you. So looking forward to seeing you all there. Peace.